Okay, let's talk about compound interest. So we're actually going to solve compound interest equations using logs, but before we can do that, we have to, talk about compound interest. So what is compound interest? So compound interest is simply just gaining interest time and time again. So let's say you have $100 and you get 10%, right, each year. So the very first year, right, when you begin, you have $100, and then after the first year, you're going to get 10% of $100, which is 110. Okay, now here's the compound part. The second year, you don't get 10% of 100, you get 10% of the 110, right? That's the compound part. So your money pretty much earns money, right? So you'll have 10% of the 110, and then you'll have 121, then the next year you'll have 10% of the 121. So that's the compound part, all right? Okay, so here is the actual formula. So compound interest, remember we're going to accrue interest, which means just earn interest, right, from an initial investment over a certain number of times. So in my example, we actually went each year. So n was 1, right? In this example, or this equation can be for as many times you want per year, all right? So you don't have to apply it just once a year. You can apply it as many times you want in a year. So A is the final amount, so the amount after t years. P is the initial amount. I call it the principal. Right? R is the annual percentage rate. And then N is the number of times that the interest is applied per year. Right? So think about this. So if your annual percentage rate is 12% and you apply it once a month, you don't get 12% each month. You get 12 divided by apply it 12 times a year. So you get 1% each month. All right? So this is simply just dividing your annual by however many times you want to do it in a year. Right? So you don't get 12% each month. You just get a 12th of that, or 1% each month. Okay? That's the gist. All right. So for this, it's pretty much just going to practice. You're just using this formula. That's all we're going to do. So let's do this. So let's say you deposit $2,000 into an account that has a 4% annual percentage rate. So it's 4% every year, and it's actually compounded annually. So you're only going to get interest once a year. So how much money will you have after 10 years? And then how much money did you earn from interest? All right. Well, let's start with our pieces. We need P, the principal, 2,000. The percentage rate is 4. We use the decimal, not the percent, so 0.004. So to change to a percent, just take your decimal and move it 2 places to the left, or divide this 4 by 100. That's the same thing. Okay, so that's my rate. N is the number of times I do it per year. Since I'm going to do it annually, it's once a year. And then my time, 10 years. All right, and then I simply just put it into our formula, and then I have 2,000. And you'll notice the 2,000, here's the 1 is the initial 2,000, and then plus, this is the interest on the 2,000, right? And for 10 years. So after 10 years, we'll have $2,960.49. Okay, it's going to be money, so round 2 decimals. And then if you subtract this from 2,000, your interest is $960.49. All right? Okay. All right, how about this? Instead of investing, let's say I borrow. So I want to borrow $450 with a 14% annual percentage rate, and this time compounded quarterly. So quarterly means 4 times a year, right? Quarters. So let's go again. So P is 450, that's my principal. 14% is my APR, so divide it by 100. The number of times quarterly, so that's 4, and then I'm still going to go 10 years. All right. So now notice this, whether I invest or I borrow, I still accrue the same amount of money. It's just one of them I get, the other I owe. So plug it back in the formula. All right. And so now you'll see divided by 4. So I'm not getting 14% every quarter. I'm getting a fourth of this. And then every 10 years, I do it 4 times every 10 years. All right. So I'm going to have 1,781.67. So if you borrow $450, in 10 years, you're going to owe $1,700. Right? So how much did you pay in interest? Right? $1,331.67. So over 10 years at 14%, right? You're going to pay triple what you owe. All right. So be careful. One of the reasons we're doing this is the percentages, they sneak up on you quite a bit. Right? And not a lot of people really understand how they work. Okay, so you want to stop this and complete class or problems 1 through 7. Okay, so let's do this. So how much money will you need to deposit into an account, right? if it earns 5% APR monthly, and if you want $2,500 after 15 years. So here's all our stuff. So at the end is $2,500. So now it's not the principal, it's the end amount. Then same stuff, 5% divided by 100 is 0.05. We're going to go monthly. So monthly is once a month, so 12 times a year, and then for 15 years. So this time when I set up my equation, I'm going to have P by itself, or P as a variable instead of A. So what do? I want to get P by itself, so divide everything by this. I'm going to show it worked out, but you could easily just get this as a decimal. Right? If you're going to do it as a decimal, go to at least three places. So if you're going to round to 2 places for money, you need at least 3 places. Okay, so then I'm just going to, like I said, write it out. And then I type this in, and I'll get 1,182. And this should be a period, 0.76. All right. Okay, so that's it. So if I want 2,500 in 15 years at 5% monthly, then I need to put in $1,182, and again, decimal 76 cents. All right. Okay, so you want to complete the classwork problems 8 through 15. That's pretty much the end of the video, so you can stop it.